Let's play some video game flash fiction. It's a 90-minute or timed writing game. Today's game will be 90 minutes long. We'll select one of these Atari 2600 cartridges and slot it in the console and write an intellectual, property-free flash fiction story within that time and read it at the end. And so someday, maybe, they'll end up in a book like this. In order to get the game, select the game, we roll 2 dice. There are 6 columns. I'm going to roll a 6-sided dice here. It's a 2. We got column 2. I got a 10-sided dice here. 7 from the bottom to top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Street Racer. Let us observe Street Racer. Let us see what it looks like. This is it right here. Street Racer. It looks like on the front it's got some motorcycles and some old-time race cars. Oh boy. This is going to be Street Racer, y'all. Let's see how it games. Let's see how it plays. Let's see if it does what it's supposed to do. We're going to get a video over here so I can see it a little bit better than I can right now. I do have an external camera pointed at a screen. It is the Atari after all. I don't have a digital version of it. Maybe someday, probably not. Well, hopefully the joystick is used. I should have read the instructions, but I'm going to reset this game right here. Oh, and I got crash, man. I bet the paddles are used. That'd be my guess, because I'm not moving at all. And this is plugged in. So let's go ahead and look at the cartridge itself. Whoa, man. I'm just like getting crushed. Let's go ahead and turn this back off. Yeah, well, this happens. This is what happens when... does it say use with paddle controllers? Okay. This ain't a big deal. Let me start the time, though. I'm going to give myself... We'll set this right up here for right now. Yeah, because I need to unplug the handle here and slot in, I believe it's the paddles. So I want both of these and not the single race car paddle. Yeah, I know. These are, they're not sticky at least. They're not as new as this handle here. I broke all my other old handles. Plastic doesn't last long, and Atari joysticks are well famous for breaking even when they were new. Fortunately, the technology still exists. So I'm going to try to plug this in without making too much of a mess. But I think that's kind of hard to do when you've effectively wrapped the wires in a way that makes it difficult. There we go. All right. So far, so good. Let's see if I can plug this in and it doesn't break the thing. That felt nice and friendly right there. Nice, and there we go. And which one will I take? I think I'll be this one. I hope, is this a one? Thought it said 1 or 2 players. And maybe by that it's just if you don't have the other player. All right. Again, this is called Street Racer. Are you kidding me? I got them plugged in. These work. I mean, I've tested paddles before. Okay. So the red one works, sort of. Holy cow. And it's, man, I thought these worked. Are these not the ones I tested to work? Because this is horrid. Okay, so the red car kind of... I don't even know. It's like I twist it and it just goes to the extremes of it. Oh, hey. I'm just going to do this. Okay, so for some reason I want to drive... This is weird. I'm not feeling any challenge at all. I'll be honest with you. I think it's how many cars you get past without getting hit. And for some reason on the other side, they're just zooming past the blue and the red. And for some reason, they want to drive on some street that has 2 lanes of traffic going the opposite way. And because I'm not passing. Well, hold on. Let's see here. Maybe is what's supposed to be happening here is on one side you're going with the traffic but really fast, and on the other side you're going against the traffic, and that's why they're zooming past you so quickly. And it seems as if even if you get hit, as long as it can eventually pass you, you get points. All right, I'm going to go ahead and select. I want to see what's if there's like what's this one? So now my race car moves pretty smooth. Yeah, I got better. I don't get the 2 red. Yeah, this is definitely not working. I wonder if I need the single paddle controllers. I only got one of the race car because they got special single. I'm going to read this instructions again, and then I this is street racing. I've done stupid stuff before. Use with paddle controller, so plural. Okay. It's interesting the images they have on the cartridge just don't match the hot rod type frame they have. I mean, definitely looks like an old hot rod with big fat tires on the back and skinny tires in the front. More of like a 60s hot rod, I guess, or a 50s hot rod than it would be what looked like the 1930s or 1920s hot rod. I'm not just feeling it. Like, okay, so now we're playing. Now everything's real. And the blue person's just zooming. I can't be the blue person. Now if I reset, can I go high enough on selecting? Let's see what we got here. Oh wow, you got like bikes. And then you got like walls. So if you're a biker, oh wow. Whoa, and now you're a spaceship. I don't think I can tell this big of a story. That's just huge. That's kind of fun. Now you're a plane. I'm just not understanding, like, the story-wise. We can go up to how far? 20, 21, 22. Now we're back to race cars. Now we're at fish, maybe. Street racer. Water racer. Now we're back to 1. Okay, so we call it street racer because it starts in the streets. Everything starts in the streets. At least I had to tell myself. I'm just not part of the streets anymore. If I ever were, not really. I guess one point in time when you're a teenager in the late 80s and 90s. In the 80s and 90s where you can actually run the streets and have some way to disconnect and not be found. You didn't have a phone tracking you. You weren't constantly in contact with other people. Snuck out of the house. If you got caught, worst case scenario, you get drove back by the cops to your parents' house. You don't get shot. Okay. Street racer. It's weird because on the blue side, it looks like those cars are zooming. So I'm assuming that maybe the street racing is going in the opposite direction. It's like a 2-lane road. And that would be, right, that would be accurate. I'm going to have a 2-lane road because I don't know why those other cars get to zoom past. Unless if you get hit so many times, they start to just enjoy hitting you, so the computer hits you even more. I could just stay right here. Oh, I got the wrong paddle. I'm going to have to mark these, and gosh, I got to go buy new paddles. I have paddles. I just got to find ones that work. I do find it interesting this paddle's now finally working with a fine-tuned grace and not just jumping back and forth. Makes me curious if the other paddle just like hit it enough and maybe it'll do something. No. I can move this one pretty. I mean, it's delayed. It's definitely very like I'm just going to do it on my own time, sometimes fast, sometimes slow. Let's see. Nope. And I'm still tied. Like, how is that possible? Like, because their cars are moving faster, they hit the car and they're still able to recover quicker than, yeah, so they're going to win. Oh, it's a tie. So this is really a stupid street racing game. I mean, most street racing is because it's kind of dangerous. I tell myself that now. Not that I haven't been in cars that were on streets racing other cars after the red light went off. But we usually drove someplace. I never did those races. I never had a car that was fast enough, nor did I really care to want to race another car. I wasn't good at it. Not to say my other fellow 17 and 18-year-old friends were good at it as well. But they definitely drove at faster rates, and they cared about their car, and they had a nice car. One had a, what was it? Man, I don't even want to say this out loud. Maybe a 68 fastback. One definitely had the 67 coupe, which was a damn nice car when it was rebuilt. I think Mustang started at 66 and a half. So the 66 was the first year for Mustangs. 67 was the first year for the Camero. Ooh, maybe I can have a Camero versus a Mustang. These are hotrods. They're street racer, though, is the name of it. But these are shaped more like hot rods. But in this entire game, we seem to have fish, motorcycles, spacecraft, objects that look like something I can't explain other than an alien. So let's just start and open a file up and try to play it and try to write a story. Let's try to write a story here. Maybe. Called Street Racer. Yeah, that's the name. They wanted to trademark this too for games. A game called Street Racer. Let's trademark it. No one's gonna think of that. That's so original. I mean, I guess back in the day, taking non-patented processes or trademarked ideas like street racing and putting them in a video game and putting a trademark on it was maybe seen as not too bad, but like Warlords is a trademark. I'm sorry, I'm going off on tangents. Like Tron, I can imagine. That's a unique name they made up. But it's not street racing. Street racer. Street racer. Am I calling it street racer? Street racer. Street racer. Okay. It's going to be 2 lanes, American Road. Now I'm like, I mean, that's what it just seems to me, because the one on the left always goes way faster than the one on the right. And if you're going the same speed, which they seem to be because they're going parallel, I'm imagining the ones are going really fast on the left because the traffic's going the other way. So someone's going to have to flip the coin for that, because you're going to get the same amount of points. I guess the difficulty is, and I can appreciate that, and that's kind of cool. Because if you think about it, it's almost like evened out in a sense. Like it's faster on the left side as far as the mechanics of the game are concerned, but you're going to get the point anyway. So if they hurry up and hit you and recover, you could almost keep up with the other side that just has to avoid being hit at all. So there's no disadvantage, it seems. But you're going to switch the paddles back in the day if you got pissed off because yours was going faster on their side and you didn't really realize the mechanics and you're constantly losing. Of course you're going to switch paddles because you're going to show that it doesn't matter. But in this case, there's left and right, so we can start with that coin flip. And that's what I'm testing this to. I hope it is. I mean, it's a pretty cool mechanic, right? If you look at this, like the one on the left, like if you were driving in America on the left side of the road, you'd be going the opposite direction of this other side. The other side approaches really slow and it's not chaotic, right? It's usually top to bottom like you're passing it and you have more visibility of how it's going. But on this side, the left side, that's kind of fun. That we have the racer that's going toward it, and then you have these cars that are zooming at angles as if they're driving toward it, trying to avoid it. And this car will never move. Now, there's an equal amount of points. This is faster and there's a higher probability of hitting the car, but once it recovers quickly, it's able to drive past almost at the same rate as if this just goes through. And I bet the timing is probably pretty right on this game to where if this car right here never gets hit, it'll win. Let me take that back, and this car gets hit like a certain amount of times. Like if this car never gets hit, it's going to win because those things are zooming past. For every 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fast cars, one slow car on the other side gets passed. So there's going to be a coin flip for which side of the road they have to start on. This is, to me, a mechanic. That's a cool mechanic. If I'm assuming this right, I don't have the instructions. I don't have a tendency to want to even read the instructions because I just tell me a different story. I don't want to know. Anyway, that's fun. That's kind of cool mechanic there. Street racer. Street racer. I guess let's start with the coin flip. Group of people. I'm sure in this day and age, because fortunately, gender roles have loosened up a little bit, and it's okay in society for women to like cars and even work on them now. It was like such an anomaly, but legendary back in my day. I mean, all my friends loved it. I mean, for us who liked older cars, I tried to rebuild a car. I tried to rebuild a Camero. So one's going to be a Camero and one's going to be a 67 Mustang that actually has worked out. I'm going to use my friend's Mustang, who was crazy driver, but did it a lot. And I think he dragged his car a couple times at the speedway. And my car sucked. It was really bad. I'm going to have that go on the other side. I think they're going to lose the coin flip. So I'll use some experience because it's easier to lie in fiction if you've lived it. And it's easier to lie if you have some truth behind it. Or, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that agree with that. So I can use my nonfiction for this fiction here. That's kind of cool. I can appreciate this game. I'd really love to talk or at least see the thinking behind the speed, and I'd love to know like how much they tested it. Yeah, that'd be crazy. Like, yeah, manual testing of this and just the fine tuning of everything. Let's try to make this fun, and not die, or no one's gonna die. I think is what's gonna happen is what would have happened in real life is that the Camero backfires and loses the race because I had the Camero, which was not rebuilt. I did have a friend that bought that Camero, dumped $10,000 into it, and made it freaking awesome, and basically took it down. There wasn't much of the body left. He had to do some patching, but got rid of all the rust. Was able to take the 327 and make it really nice. So at least the motor was worth that much for him. He paid me how much I paid for it. So anyway, memories. So we got a coin flip. And we'll just start with talk. Heads, let's give some names. This is a group of people. And this is like the person running it. This is the person in the Mustang. No, this is not the Mustang. This is somebody else. Like, this is a third party, the person that's going to be maybe driving their motorcycle So it's what we used to do, and I'm going to use this for a game mechanic, and what these probably didn't do, because this is crazy. They must be doing during rush hour, though, and that's just it. This is not like when I was doing it. When I was doing it, it was at night. It was on very far back roads. We'd drive there. There would be at least an intersection that was known where someone can go and drive and trip a light by doing the cross of the intersection. So they'd drive their motorcycle or their car. They'd approach the other intersection, and then they'd know the green was about to come. Man, processes and things you learn. Anyway, in this case, though, they're literally driving down the middle of the road. So both these people are stupid. But that's where they're at. They're on the street. I'm going to make that story. Oh boy, this is going to be hard. Not to make it like, I don't think it's going to be fun. I have like the story collection called Stupid. Heads. Dane takes left lane. Tails. They're going to both be Mender. They're just, even today's society and the loosening of our gender roles, the high probability of both of these being males at a young age is much greater still than them not. It's what I know, and I'm going to go with it. Definitely, though, I think there's a legendary, there was actually one racer, and she helped her dad, who was a shop mechanic teacher. And so she inherited his skills and passions, much like, the men passing it down to their boys to like cars. And I'd say my friends were more of an influence, but my dad definitely had that influence as well. Very prevalent in where I grew up, so it wasn't like an anomaly like it would be where I'm at right now, or most places in even the United States of America. Not to the degree it used to be, at least as where I'm at. Maybe it was. I wasn't here then, I was there. Okay, so tells, and so I say all that, so the name's going to be Zach. I don't know a Zach, and I don't know a Dane. Heads takes, let's just do that. You got to call it with it. Takes left lane. Tails takes right lane. One point for cars passed. I mean, because you'd pass more cars in the left lane. Dane gets to call it. Is it still... the winner Dane gets to flip. Dane flips the quarter. Now this is going to be at night. I think it's, let's have it during the day. I'm going to give him at least some visibility. That's good. Let's go ahead. I'm going to play this real quick again. So they're slow there. And maybe they just speed up when you get hit. Like the more times you're hit, I don't know. Like they were going really fast at some point. Maybe it's level and difficulty. Maybe that mechanic to me is something it was a glitch. It could be too. Like, I mean, all these games got glitches at some point. You can't test everything. I think so. I think I'm going to go with even though the game mechanics are playing out like they did. Definitely want to get these sounds just a little bit louder for at least I can hear. Hopefully it'll... It kind of has that like combat sound to it. I don't know if you ever played the Atari 2600 Combat. I have. It's got that like motor sound when you're doing tanks. So Dane flips the quarter. A quarter flies into the blue. So this looks like a pretty wide road. Oh man, I know the perfect. Yeah, I mean, this is actually going to be. I'm using things from the past today. The Vard, as we once called it. And this is going to be during the day. We went during the night. And you did a couple off the line things, but you never wanted to do it there because you'd get pulled over. There's cops there all the time. It's the thing you did back in the 80s and 90s. You hopped into a car and you drove along a strip. And there's still people that do that in the world. And keep doing it if you are. It's fun. And, you know, we never got into fights. We'd always try to pick up chicks and never did. And raced cars and did. And met people and went places and did. Pulled over on the side of the road and talked and did. And that was always fun. Memories. But in this case, it's during the day. And they're along the same thing, same sort of roadway. It's got 2 lanes on either side, opposite direction with the medium in the middle. But not a cement medium, at least at the time. It was more of a turning medium where you pulled over wherever you wanted to make a left turn. So Dan flips the quarter flies along the blue sky. Quarter flips into the blue sky, bounces on the sidewalk, and rolls near the curb in the 5-lane boulevard. How do you spell boulevard? I don't know. I'm going to look that up real quick. I want to get that word right before I get it wrong many times. There we go. All right, so because I swear that we're just gonna use the streetcars. There's too many levels to this game besides just the cars. I don't want to think about a fish story. So let's try to use the mechanics I've seen. So left and right, and every car they pass, just like the mechanic in this game, they get a point. So in the story, same thing's gonna happen. Obviously, one's going to have to wreck. Tragedy. It's going to likely be the one in the left lane. Like, how would you do this more than once, though, logically? If you die, I mean, even back in the 80s, I got to say that if you were to do something highly illegal like this, it happened about one time. So you couldn't necessarily have a winner. If you did it at night, well, let's try and write the story and see what happens. And then we'll play some more Street Racer and see if I can... I wish the other paddle worked. Like, it's broke. Only got one side. So we're going to have two street racing cars. We'll have a 68 Camero and a 67 Coupe Mustang, which I'm familiar with, so I don't have to fictionalize too much for the story, and we can actually write it. Still got 57 minutes left of my own time to do it. Once that timer hits 0, no more playing the game, no more writing the story, and we'll try to read it aloud. Well, we'll read it aloud. I don't know if it'll be that well read or written. So Dane flips the quarter. The quarter flips in the blue sky. Bounces on the sidewalk and rolls near the curb in the 5-lane boulevard. I was going to look up the word boulevard. Where's the word boulevard? One of those words like reservoir that don't follow my standard template for enunciation. Yeah. The 5-lane, I'm just going to copy and paste that right there. And assume that the search and return engine did me good today. Okay, and then I can use the slang, because I think if I remember, I used to call it the Vard. I think around that time too, I was playing the Nintendo and not the Atari. Yes. Maybe it was the Sega Genesis. God, it was probably the Sega. Probably both, Nintendo and the Sega Genesis. Sold the Atari. Yeah, swap meet. Damn. Memories come back. Especially when you cycle them up, play a video game from back in the day, and then use those memories to create a story on it. Someday, maybe. Maybe they'll end up in a book like this. It's got a cool back cover. It's probably the best thing about the book. Stories are fun too, maybe. But let's go ahead and try to think of this. So the coin's going to flip. I've opened up the street. So the 5-lane boulevard. Along downtown. I'm going to make up the place. Whiteville. Reading. Well, we'll call it like this. We'll go reading, right? Downtown reading. The 5-lane boulevard through downtown reading. And is this in the morning? Like, if you're going to do this type of thing, you wouldn't want to do it during rush hour because you're not moving. Most places with big roads have lots of cars, and those cars are going to take up traffic. I mean, this does seem like it'd be a nighttime thing or a Sunday morning thing, right? With that few of cars, a constant of cars. I mean, you'd want to do it at night because it'd be stupider. And it's lit well enough that you'd be able to see it. Man, that's... how can this not end in tragedy? Seriously. Excuse me for that. I thought I took off the microphone if I didn't. But let's try to... I just got to reason this, and I think I can get the story out and push it and have fun with it. If it's during, I just got to think of the time. It's got to be on a Sunday morning. There's fewer cars on the road, most places on a Sunday morning. For different reasons, of course. Some could be because of religious reasons, and others are because they had a great Saturday night and they want to sleep in, or some sort of sporting events on. In this case, it's going to be fall. So we'll say that something like maybe God and football is keeping people inside and not on the streets of Reading downtown Boulevard. But there's a few people, enough people that they'll at least be able to have a point value when they pass these cars, as is this game. And there's fewer of them. And at nighttime, that's just too... I mean, that's definitely an end in tragedy. This is going to have to end in some consequence. I don't want to be like, yeah, I mean, I think someone's going to get caught. I think it's going to be it'd be the 68 Camero that breaks down. I had a 68 Camero. Like I said, when I had it, it sucked. Someone else had it. It was cool, but they paid a lot of money to have it that way. So in this case, not that I'm just saying I'm not biased against 68 Camaros. I prefer them over a 67 Coupe Mustang. But in this case, I think I want the Camaro to be it's going to be the one that moves. This one, boom, boom. It's going to be a Camaro. The other one's a 67 Coupe. I think there's going to be some police chase, and the only one that gets caught is a 68 Camaro because it maybe like the carburetor floods or something like that, which I think had happened once on a race. Oh, what an embarrassment. And so it's going to be on the side of the traffic that flows, and I think is what's going to happen is we have this coin flip during Sunday morning. And we could tell a little bit about the town. Wow, God and football kept people inside. Let's say a speck of I mean, it'd be smarter to do this at night if it wasn't as crowded. I like the flavor of doing a Sunday morning. If you put this back in a time when, let's say, let's just hurry and let's start. I gotta start writing. I got 55 minutes left. I'm giving myself for the story, inspired by this Atari 2600 game. I got like 130 of these things left too. It's crazy. It's fun. So, got a Dane has a 16. We'll put the dates. 1976 Coupe Mustang. I think they had the fastback then, so there's definitely a difference. They never had a 4-door Mustang, but they had the fastback, which I didn't. I've seen a couple fastbacks, but I just don't typically like the fastback Mustang. Sorry, fastback Mustang lovers. Mustang? I honestly don't know how to spell Mustang right now. Without the G. Stupid me. 67 Coupe Mustang. Dane's 67 Coupe Mustang rumbled a constant. A steady song. A fuming bliss, maybe. We're going back and forth still. I do like how you can move imagine programming this. Like then once you hit the reset, it holds state. That's fun. How much you had to like test? And like what were some of the things? Like maybe your car wouldn't smash when you hit the other one. How long you'll had it smash? Because the timing on this has to be pretty good. I still want to know how I got that glitch and made the other side fast to give me the impression for the story, because right now it's all going slow. Assuming it was a glitch, it could have been something else. Hell if I know. I make these assumptions that it's a glitch when really it's probably not. Or it is. Let's write this story. So Dane's fuming Coupe Mustang rumbled steady song, rumbled the song. Let's just not say steady song. Of exhaust. Rumbled a song of exhaust. I do like the smell of exhaust, yes. If for some reason, and I don't think it's going to happen because there's much better ways to go, like living the long life and struggling through it. If I had to go, though, I mean, carbon monoxide poisoning. It's one reason I kind of liked the older cars is the smell of carbon monoxide and the gas. Oh, that's funny. I suppose probably more people find it noxious these days because they just don't like grow up around it and don't have that like attention. And maybe I think it was like lead and unleaded too. So it was still, maybe it was the flavor of the lead. Who knows? So Dane's 1967 Coupe Mustang rebelled a song of exhaust. While we'll just do a quick throw out the type of cars, and then while they're driving in this motion here. Oh man, I'm dominating. The red Camero. Oh yeah, okay, so let's call it the color, a blue Coupe Mustang. And then it looks red to me here. So we'll say it's a red. The Mustangs that I actually have in mind, the Mustang I have in mind was actually black. It had like this pearl in it too. It looked really nice. And mine was vinyl top black and orange. Vinyl top was remained intact. It was like one of the things that actually could have lasted, but I think when it got rebuilt by my friend, they, if I remember right, just went bare metal, took off the vinyl top and cleared all that damn rust that was there, because there was damn rust. So Dane's 67 Blue Coupe Mustang rebelled a song of exhaust. While who was the other names I got? I had like Zake is our other person here. So Zake, while Zake's 1968 Camero, I'm going to make it a super sport or rally sport. Let's just leave it at what it is right now and move on with our lives. Because it wasn't. I wanted a rally sport. I didn't get one. Too much. 68 Camaro. There was no versions of it beyond a coupe, so I'll just say 68 Camaro. Popped and puttered. Man, I'm gonna give Cameros a bad name. I don't want to do that. Like, honestly, I would like, that's weird. Like, I used to like be a Chevy Camaro person versus a Mustang, and now I mean, I guess I still do care. I still deep in my psyche. I got to make the Camaro is good. I'm not going to make it, although it'd be more interesting if the Camaro, I got to give reasons while the Camaro stalls. Maybe I'm just going to flip it. This is fiction. No. The Blue Coupe Mustang's going to rumble a song of exhaust and pops a few times. Pops and putters a few times as Zake revs the motor. Zake's 68 Camaro. 68 Camaro is gonna be the one that gets away in this one. I'm biased. I don't. It feels weird. It does. Like, how much connection to that thing that I have, a car. Zake's 68. That's why it's gonna be hard to get rid of them. They should be. I'd prefer transit systems or even automated cars that can make better use of our time and lives and energy. So Zake's 68 Camaro pop, but still deep in my heart, the Camaro. Zake's 68 Camaro purred. Purred like a lion, ready to bite. And let's give it a color. It's gonna be red, because that's what, at least when you're playing the game, the car looked like to me, to the graphics I see right now. So Zake's 1968 red Camaro purred like a lion, ready to bite. Both cars rumbled. Oh, I gotta get, okay, so we have this, the Mustang. Let's just touch upon how it ends. I don't know who's gonna stop first, but we'll say the Mustang pops. Ooh, I know what it could be. If I could do some foreshadowing. The legend of throwing a rod. Which, say that out loud now, takes on maybe a different meaning, but in this case, it is when your piston is either not broken because it's a new motor, or you don't have enough oil, and it gets too hot. If not, it can either stick, if I'm not mistaken, inside of the shaft, and then the rod gets yanked from it and then could shoot with the force down into your oil pan. Makes a big pop sound. I think one of them's going to throw a rod. And I got to foreshadow that because I just don't want to like have it all of a sudden happen, which is not a bad storytelling process, but all the same. So head takes a left turn. Okay. Dane flips the quarter flips in the blue sky, bounces on the blah, blah, blah. Gets to flip and call it. Well, no, hold on. So if it's tails, so Dane, we'll say this. Dane's going to be driving the coupe Mustang. It's blue, so he's going on the opposite side of the road. Dane's got Roddy stands on the sidewalk in the middle of a group of teens wearing jeans and t-shirts. He holds a quarter. There we go. So at least let's set up and show this before this fascinating street race that's going to take place. I got 44 minutes left. I kind of want to play this more. I wish this other handle worked. Oh, wait. Whoa. Why is it working now? That's crazy. Do I have to like, oh, this is... Now I gotta try. I mean, it's like, now it's not working. There we go. Just I gotta like open this up and clean it now. It's not like broke. It's just old and dirty. But it's going. That's fascinating. Wow. Oh, wow. Okay, so now I feel a little bit better. I'm not like I could play Pong with these things. I'd definitely lose. And now it's not working. Now it's like, you need to press. That's why you need to press down. Yeah. Anyway, I could get caught up in that all day, and I don't think it'd finish this story at all. In fact, I know it wouldn't. So Dane flips the quarter flips in the blue sky, bounces on the sidewalk, and rolls near the curb in the 5-lane boulevard along the 5-lane boulevard through downtown Reading. I'm just like, hit the reader over the head with that sentence. Keeps them. Let's go past tense right here. I'm gonna leave that. I might, if I have time to fix the beginning and the end, I'll the beginning at least. I like the way it's set up. I got to write other words before I can start complaining about this. I don't want to make a fantastic beginning and have this pathetic ending that just seems like a rushed scribble job. So Dane's got left lane. With me slouches Dane. I'll have Zach be a teenage smoker. It happens. Especially back in the 80s and 90s. It happened a lot. Like an exhaust pipe. Let's go. Go. Roddy picks up the quarter. Point for each car. I don't know. I mean, that'd be like unfair. You pick the lane with the least amount of cars. Like, and that's, you lose. Yeah, these even distribution of cars coming at you so they can have some point value. Video game land, that works. Reality land, that's, chances are, probability is near zero. It's never zero, but near zero. Unless you staged it. And these kids aren't going to stage this race that well. But we'll say, in this case, point for car distance. We can still equate it to distance. Assuming, yeah. And we'll go seconds. Each point is a second. I mean, that's the only way that I can rationalize transferring the game mechanics of Street Racer, which I can now move both. If I press, there we go. I mean, I have I think I have like 3 sets of these paddles. I need to do proper QA. Other than what fun would it be if they didn't fail once in a while. There we go, see. We got 2 racers. I'm going to try to race them at the same time once I get more words. A story. I only got 39 minutes left, so let's maybe stop talking too much. So Dane got the left lane. Good with me, slouches Dane. Zach drops cigarette and exhales smoke like an exhaust pipe. Let's go. Roddy picks up the quarter. Point for each car passed, 10 points. Each point is a second. Off time. Past the Dane sign over the boulevard. Did I spell boulevard right? No, I did not. I wanted to spell it how I didn't have an E. Wow, jeez. I always put that E, I don't know, boulevard. Boulevard. There we go. Dane, the sign over the boulevard. This is just reminiscent of the streets we cruised on, but never raced on much. Because you're going to get pulled over. And you're going to get a ticket. And when you're in your teens and you're getting paid $4.50 an hour, if you're getting 25 cents more than minimum wage, you can't afford a $50 ticket. Well, you can, but you don't want to. Like, how are you going to spend money on a gas guzzling car? So Zach's 1968 red Camero purred like a lion, ready to bite both cars. Walked on the sidewalks. Near the four-way intersection. Engines revved. Revved and popped. Cars rolled. All right, so this is what I wanted to do. I'd have, they'd be wait. The boulevards. I'm going to spell this right one time. Bola. I don't know why I want to do BL. That's not boulevard, like Bola. Boulevard. Ards intersect in a light turned red. With the tires burnout and Zake fishtailed the Camero across 3 lanes. Oh, the Mustangs. I can make the Mustang like a horse metaphor, like simile, whatever you want to call it, or just use it. I don't know. Let's just say walked to the right lane, left lane, left lane, left lane, right lane, right lane, left lane, red light and right lane. Left lane. The light glowed red. The traffic light. The streets, the Sunday morning streets. Light clear. Okay, then it'd be real fast. They're going to get chased. What time do I got? I got 33 minutes left to write this enough, make it, read it. We'll see how the story goes. I want to try to play this too in just a moment because I'm almost at least to the point where I should probably take a break, play some game, and then get back to actually finishing the story up. So light glowed red. I'm just trying to build that tension that you'd have if you're standing before a light. Because you're just looking at that light, and you're looking around, light glowed red. Engines revved. The Mustangs. Yeah. I think that's what I want it to be. So it's going to be the engines rev, the Mustang's motor. I should case this. It's a proper name. I'm going to give it some respect. More respect than maybe, well, it deserves respect. It's a nice car. Is that fish-tailed? That's wrong. I'm telling a tell, like fish-tailed, like I'm lying, not fish-tailed, where your back end of your car goes back and forth because it can't get grips on the street. Engine's revved. The Mustang's engine popped. I think that's it. The Camero's engine purred. We'll keep the cat. Simile, metaphor, literary device. It's the Mustang. Camero? God, man. Yes, I don't know how to write anymore. I have so much doubt in the things I spell sometimes. Mustang's Camero pop, the Camero's engine purred. Let's go glows. I like, I went present tense, then I go past tense all of a sudden. Let's go blue coupe Mustang rumbles. Let's do present tense real quick. Rumbles and pops and putters a few times. Yeah, putters, purrs like a Ryan ready to bite. The trailer teens walk on the sidewalks. Let's intersections. Let's do some quick corrections. Intersection. 4-lane intersection. The intersection. Let's try to write boulevard again. I still started it wrong. Boulevard intersection. Engines revved and popped. The boulevard's light turned red. Tires burn out. And Zake fishtailed their Camero across 3 lanes and stopped before the red light. The read light? Let's go the red light and right lane on the right lane. Let's add an article to point at it. So the Mustang walked to the left. The Mustang walked, yeah. Galloped left and stood before the light. The traffic light glowed red. Let's make this a separate paragraph just to sort of give a little bit of space to add maybe a little bit of tension and maybe not. Who's to say if tension is added? The reader, maybe me when I edit tomorrow, next day, or in 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. The Sunday morning streets stretched to the north. Clear of traffic. The light glowed red. Glows red. Glows. Okay, we went past tense. I'm trying to fix that. Light turns red. Tires burn out. Jake's fishtails their Camero across 3 lanes and stops before the red light in the right lane. The Mustang walks to the left lane. Walks along the left lane and stands before the red light. The traffic light glows red. The Sunday morning streets stretch to the north, clear of traffic. The light glows red. Engines rev. The Mustang's pops. The Camero's purrs. Gonna write in my bias. Entire mission in life when I like cars was to someday stream or write stories that enhance the historical relevancy of Cameros versus Mustangs. My 17, 18-year-old self would be proud. That's funny. Engines rev, the Mustangs pops, Cameros purrs. The light glows green. Tires burn. I mean, you don't really want to burn out. That's just going to slow you down. Yeah, I mean, it's stupid. You not only waste tire, and funny cars will burn out to be able to make their tires more sticky and have better grip, but you really don't want to do that because you're not moving fast. Tires spin. Short marks. Ride to clean streets. The Mustang gallops. In front of. Excuse me. So tires sping. I don't know how tires sping, but I don't want to think of that. Short skid marks ride to clean streets. The Mustang gallops ahead of the Camero, the purring Camero. Trying to think of the type of buildings. I'm just trying to. I need to blur. What time do I got? I got 24 minutes left. Let's see if I can play this game with two controllers. Like this one, I got to press down on. This one, if I press down on, it doesn't work. That's going to be the difficult. Oh, I can press down on both. So let's try this out. Whoa. Oh man, this is going to work out. Oh, come on. Well, the Mustang's going to win. That sucks. I feel like this is why they have difficulty levels. Let's just drive on the corner. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I should have moved. Oh, I should move. Uh-oh. I'm looking above. That's where the screen is at. I'm going to crash. Whoa. I mean, is the pattern the same on both sides with both the cars? It is, right? Yeah. I just noticed that. It appears to be, at least right now. I mean, it'd be easier to program that, I would assume. And if you're playing both sides, it's easier to adjust because you just got to move them in sync. That's the pattern. Wow, interesting. So you could play this like this and do just as good as a job if you moved it all in sync. I guess it allows for equal. I mean, I guess this is also, I mean, oddly, I've been hit equal amount of times. All right. Street racing. Street racer. The Mustang galloped ahead of the Camero. Let's see. Stand shoe repair. Empty parking lots. Car dealerships. Car dealerships. Stand shoe repair. Let's think of some things to show and tell. I don't know where I get the word Dan's shoe repair. Just, I don't know. I feel like I remember the same street I raced cars on one time. When I was young, I got my shoes repaired. I got resold. It was cheaper than buying new shoes. A habit that would be nice to actually still exist these days. I don't think they were like that nice. They were like a pair of sneakers. I was really young too. And well, if you can't afford a new pair of shoes, and your other ones are in decent shape, but you just wore the soles out, why not? And then shoe repair, vacuums plus, a stretch mall, and it's bridge over the boulevard, blurred by intersections of green lights led the two cars through downtown and toward, I gotta at least put in the mechanics of the actual I won't make mention the fact that, I mean, it'd be easier to program, right? If you're going to do a thing like this, if you could find a way to have the same car on both sides, your state machine would be simpler to hold. And I guess you could probably just duplicate it. I don't know. I only write code for data and not for making video games. Unless, yeah, video games. I've done text games. Coded those. Those are going to be AI next anyway. So intersections of green lights lead to two cars through the downtown streets. Leads the race into slow Sunday drivers. Drivers. I don't know. I got 18 minutes left. Man, I don't have the Mustang. Swerves. I'm going to say that's how you spell swerves. Around a van, a minivan. And a honking horn. Camero passes station wagon with wood paneling. There's another car. Slowly rolls onto the street by the taco house. The sign, the reading sign. What do you, I mean, it's like an archway, the reading archway. I mean, it'd be like an action movie if it was any other way. And I think I just can't. This is the mechanic. It hits us a little bit. Maybe I'm a little disappointed. I feel like I need more cars, but at least they're there. I'm going to break down sort of how it's programmed into the story. That's kind of hard to make a good story then. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe I'll make a better story. Who knows? It could. Pierce. Sirens scream. A police car. Pulls from the donut shop. From Tasty Donuts. Doesn't every place have a Tasty Donuts someplace? Well, it used to. Maybe they're now taken over by some corporate greed. Corporation. They give their patented donuts that supposedly taste better than other donuts. It's just sugar and fat. I mean, can you really go wrong? You can, but it's hard. Spend a little bit of time, you probably get pretty good at it. Police pulls from the Tasty Donuts and races after the Mustang. Swirls around many hundred horns. Mustang revs and its engine pops. Crackling the crisp fall morning. Crisp morning. The Camero passes the station wagon with the wood paneling as a slowly rolls. What would be slowly rolls from the taco house drive-through. The archway of Reading appears. A siren screams. The Mustang. I don't know why I wanted to like put an E on Mustang. I'll figure it out someday. It's not a concern, but it's a question, I suppose. Maybe a little bit of a concern. Why? I got 13 minutes left. I should shut up and write. I'm almost there. I feel at least I've got a setup. I've talked my way into a good story. I've got inspiration from this game. I can use most of the mechanics for the story. I think the Mustang's going to get caught. Does the Camero finish the race? The Mustang wants to win. Well, maybe that's it. Maybe the person in the Camero. Excuse me, I need some water. The person in the Camero doesn't really care, doesn't want to get caught. I guess the one good thing about going at night was you could kind of hide at least your license plate. And in this case, you're going street racing. One's going across against traffic. So the cop car would definitely be going after the Mustang right now. I can't believe that works now. I mean, it can. It's the Atari. Things like this just sometimes don't work. Maybe there's a little piece of dirt. Maybe I didn't appreciate it and love it enough. Talk sweet nothings to it. Police pulls from the Tasty Donuts and races after the Mustang. Let's get inside the cars now. We went outside the cars. I forgot the characters' names. Dane and Zach. Dane is the Mustang driver. So we're going to have Dane grip. Dane grips the steering wheel and glares at the finish at the archway a mile away. Zach holds, looks over left shoulder. The police car. Does Zach hit something? Something's just to make it street racer. And for something that happens in the game, I got to throw that mechanic in. Like, let's reset this real quick. I got 10 minutes. I think I got the story. Yeah, it's that glitch that I experienced where the one side was going faster than the other. Maybe it was a setting. Maybe I'm just thinking like, so those are different games, like the motorcycles. What do you got, like the tandem cycles? I don't get that. I want to check this out real quick. And it's the same on both sides. Does it like sync up eventually? No, I guess you wouldn't. But it's the same. But then it gets out of sync. So I wonder if it's like oh man, I'll get lost in that. I got a story to finish. But let's go back to the thing that inspired. So let's go game select here. Got planes, spaceships, aliens, got cars. Let's go. I think, okay, so Zach looks over the left shoulder of the police car. Blaring lights. Comma. Blaring lights. Is going to hit somebody. And that's going to be the end of it. As Dane races under the archway, under the reading archway, as the Mustang. We'll go back to the car. The Camero crashes into we had minivan, we had pickup, we had station wagon. Let's go pick up. Do pickup. Pulling from the parking lot of Plumbers. A Plumber Mart. Everything was named Mart that day. There you go. I think that's the end. It gives an indication of who has the most points. What happens? The game mechanics. One's not going to get away. And I don't have to have one of the cars break down, so I don't have to show my bias. I don't have the Mustang break down. The Mustang will win simply because the driver of the Camero wasn't that good. And that just shows why Zane's the winner. I was going to get pulled over and get arrested and probably thrown in jail for street racing. Such as the consequences. Don't do it at home. Don't do it at all. Hypocritical, sure, but times are different. And if you're going to do it, at least go someplace where there's no other cars. And you're both in the same lane with the traffic going the same way. But teenagers are stupid. I was with one, and I was stupid. I'm not saying I'm a brilliant person now. I'm not saying I'm not an idiot some days. I'm just less of an idiot. Maybe a little more jaded, though. All right, I'm going to turn this timer off because I don't want the loud buzzing to happen. And we're almost done with this story. At least I feel I'm done with this story. I'm going to read it aloud and then commence with life a little bit and enjoy living it. So maybe I can write a better video game flash fiction story during the future sometime. Because it is much easier to write fiction if you have a little bit of truth in your life. Experience tells a better lie. For today's video game flash fiction story, it was inspired by the Atari 2600 game called Street Racer. Street Racer. Roddy stands on the sidewalk in the middle of a group of teens wearing jeans and t-shirts. He holds a quarter and says, heads takes left lane, tails takes right lane, 1 point for car passing. And the winner, Dane, gets to flip. Dane flips the quarter flips in the blue sky, bounces on the sidewalk, and rolls near the curb in the 5-lane boulevard through downtown Reading. During Sunday morning, while God and football kept people from downtown. Dane's got the left lane. Good with me, slouches Dane. Zach drops cigarette and exhales smoke like an exhaust pipe. Let's go. Roddy picks up the quarter. A point for each car passed, 10 points for racing on the left. Each point is a second of time passed. The Dane sign over the boulevard. The Reading sign over the boulevard. Dane's 1967 blue coupe Mustang rumbles a song of exhaust and pops and putters a few times as Zach's revs the Camero's motor. Zach's 1968 red Camero purrs like a lion ready to bite. The crowd of teens walk on the sidewalks near the boulevard intersection. The engine revs and pops. The boulevard's light turns red. Tires burn out. And Zach fishtails the Camero across 3 lanes and stops before the red light in the right lane. The Mustang walks along the left lane and stands before the red light. The traffic light glows red. The Sunday morning streets stretch to the north, clear of traffic. The light glows red. Engines rev, the Mustang's engine pop, the Camero purrs. The light glows green, tires spin, short skid marks ride to clean streets. The Mustang gallops ahead of the purring Camero. Empty parking lots, car dealerships, and Dan's Shoe Repair, Vacuum Plus, the Stretch Mall, and its bridge over the boulevard blur by. Intersections, the green light leads the race in slow Sunday drivers. The Mustang swerves around a minivan and a honking horn. It revs and its engine pops, creating a crisp morning snap. The Camero passes a station wagon with a wood panel as a pickup truck slowly rows from Taco House drive-through. The Reading archway appears. A siren screams. A police car pulls from the Tasty Donuts and races after the Mustang. Dane grips the steering wheel and glares at the archway a mile away. Zach looks over the shoulder at the police car, blaring lights. As the Mustang races under the Reading archway, the Camaro crashes into a pickup, pulling from a parking lot of Plumber Mart. Well, that was the video game flash fiction story for today, called Street Racer. Let's go ahead and save these words. Ooh, I like to try to get casing right on my notes. And as with any game, it comes to an end at times. Let's turn this off. Put this cartridge away. For someday, it will likely be published somewhere. Until that time, and until the next story, just play life. It's hard, but sometimes you can find some joy in it. Try to create something other than a mundane existence. It's worth it.